What's going on, everybody? It's me, Snoops, coming back at you with another NBA2K20 video. Now, this video we are doing the second series, or the second part of this series, to where we are doing another top 5 rare builds that are actually really good. So stay tuned for this, because these are going to be some rare builds that you might have seen a little bit of, or you might have not seen at all. Who knows, because everybody plays this game differently, but a lot of the times you'll see people running builds that are exactly named, you know, like cliche-like almost when it comes to 2K. A ton of offensive threats, a ton of glass cleaning locks and stuff like that. It's hard to actually get a rare build that is actually good, so that's why I'm here making these videos, to show you which ones out of all those videos online are actually good. So let's go ahead, let's get into the first one, which is a playmaking force. So just remember, I'm ranking these. I might have not ranked the last ones like in an actual like order or anything. I just like did them in like an order, but I'm doing these in a specific order, you know, from like my rankings and stuff like that. So this first one is a power forward build, and we are going to go for the pure playmaker pie chart here. And you guys are probably wondering, Snoops, why are we going pure playmaker? Well, you guys should already know, but of course this is going to be like a post scoring shooting playmaking type build, to where you're able to finish at the rim whenever you have to, and whenever you need to, you can play make, you get people open, pass the ball, you can score off the three, off the mid-range, all kinds of jazz like that. So layups, dunk, all of those are going to be maxed out, giving you 3 finishing badges. But of course, we're maxing everything out for shooting. Shooting is like definitely going to be important here, but the main thing that I really wanted was, hey, we can shoot from the 3, remember that? But also the main thing that I really wanted from this was that 78 post fade. And then we are not touching ball handling. And the main reason why we're not touching ball handling is because we're not gonna keep holding the ball for that long. The only time we're holding the ball for more than like a couple seconds really is when we are posted up. That's like the only other time that we're gonna hold on to the balls, when we're posted up. And then, you know, this is when you should have like back down punisher or something like that, so you can just back them down a lot easier, and then do like a post fade or pass out, or do whatever you have to, or just do a post spin and then post spin into a dunk or whatever. Totally up to you, but I'm gonna max out all of these, and then block is gonna be a 60. Here is what should be the final outcome. Should be 3 finishing, 15 shooting, 28 playmaking, and 4 defense and rebound badges, which this build is going to be weak on defense and a little weak on finishing. But the thing is, you're playing this build pretty much to space out the floor and stuff like that. It is rare. You don't really see them a lot, and that's just because you usually see like interior finishers, interior forces, glass cleaning locks, paint beast, you know, stuff like that. So you usually don't see a lot of power forwards that are not defenders of some sort, or not even finishers. So this build will definitely be like, oh wait, he's actually able to shoot, and you're able to stretch the floor out because of your post moves, being able to get inside, being able to shoot, post fade, all that jazz. So me personally, I go Burley because, you know, that's just what I would go with. 6'9", maxing out the weight so we can get that increase to our strength, having us in 86 strength off of that. And then you can bring your wingspan all the way down to an 81, or you can just bring it down to an 82 or 83 if you would like. But I usually go all the way just so I can get that extra 3 to 3-point shots. And then also our strength is an 89. You can do playmaker if you want to, but you're not really going to be ball handling or anything. I made this build sort of like, hey, I'm able to post score and stuff like that, so I'm called a playmaking 4, but I'm able to post score as well, which is why I chose post score takeover, because like, okay, if I have to back them down, and whenever I back somebody down and I have post score takeover, they're gonna bring in a double, I can pass out, stuff like that, because they're gonna try to double me when I have post score takeover. They're not letting me get the ball. But here you guys go. playmaking 4. I'm not going to show you badges because it'll take a lot longer for me to get through this video if I did show badges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a Google Doc in the description below that you can take a look at all the badges for all of these builds, and they're going to be organized depending on which section you're looking at, shooting, defense, etc. So take a look at that in the description below. You can take a look at the badges and be like, huh, okay, I might like this build, the stats look nice, the badges look nice, I might use it. So that's what you guys should take a look at. But of course we're gonna move on to the number 4 slot for the next good rare build. Hey everybody, welcome back. So we are here at the number 4 spot, and we got a point guard build. We definitely have a really good point guard build, but this is another playmaker type, so we're going to the pure playmaker. And we are also, for me, I usually go vertical and speed because why not? Vertical and speed is definitely the best, since you can get a 99 on vertical and speed when everything is said and done. So with this, you have to have very specific stats in order to make this build. You cannot have a 79 driving dunk. So when we're making this, we have a 78. So I'm bringing it down 1. And then same with close shot and driving layup, all 78, maxing out that standing dunk, of course, the only thing that we're maxing out here. And then we are going to go to a 53, because if we go to 52, we only have 9, so 53, so we can get the 10 finishing badges. And we're maxing out mid-range, 3-pointer, and free throws. The only thing that we're not maxing out is post-fade, which will go to a 49. So for playmaking, we're going to max out pass accuracy and ball handling, and we're not going to be maxing out post moves. What we are going to do is we're going to bring it up just a little bit so we can get that 28 playmaking badge. Now here's the thing, that gives us 7 Hall of Fame badges to work with. So we can still easily get our 7 Hall of Fame badges. We're just not going to be able to get that extra silver badge in there. That's the only thing. So for defense, perimeter, lateral, steal, defensive rebound. So there you have it. That should be everything. So you have the 10, 12, 28, 9. And this sort of looks like a slashing playmaker, or a build that would call you a slashing playmaker, except that, hey, you have 9 defensive badges, my dude. That sounds really nice to have for a guard build. You can go ahead and choose whichever one that you want. I would probably use compact. We're gonna stay 6'3", and I'm going to minimize my weight all the way so we can get that lateral quickness up, but also get our vertical up to a 91 and our acceleration up to a 95. And then we are going to keep our wingspan default. Here's the reason why. We already have a 95 ball handling. We already have a 95 pass accuracy. Why bother with it? We have a 75 3-pointer. That's still pretty damn good. We have an 80 mid-range. That's still pretty damn good. And if we bring our wingspan down, it's just going to call us, you know, just a regular slashing playmaker. So that's not rare at all. You can also increase your wingspan if you want to, by at least like 1 tick, but you know, what's the point in that? You're taking down your 3-pointer. So just keep it default, because that's just like the better way of doing it, and to make it be called this build. So you can have playmaker or shot creator, whichever one that you choose. But you see, we don't have slasher takeover, because we don't have a 79 driving dunk. So there you have it. Playmaker, just a playmaker. I might even use this build myself online and be like, they don't think I'm a slashing playmaker, but you know, with that really high vertical, and once, you know, I get to a 99 and stuff like that, considering that, you know, I won't be able to get like elite contact dunks at all, but you know, it's whatever. Anyway, this is the number 4 spot playmaker. Really good build. I'm just glad that we found a playmaker build that is actually pretty decent, but isn't called a slashing playmaker. So there's this build. Let's go ahead, let's move on to the number 3 slot that I have set for us. Alright everybody, welcome back to the number 3 slot. This build, we have a center build, of course. Well, let's just go ahead. Let's get into it. So pure defender for this. And we are also going for the strength vertical, so the second pie chart here. Get a 95 strength off the rip without having to do anything. So, what we're going to do here, we're going for that 82. One off of max. Okay, you might be like, Snoops, why? Here's why. One off of driving dunk. And of course we're going to max standing dunk because we get that whopping 95. And then we're going for a 64 post hook. So 82, 62, 71, 95, 64. The only two maxed out is layup and standing dunk. Not even touching shooting. Not even free throws. Usually I would go for free throws, but not this build. Playmaking, we're going to max out pass accuracy. We're going for a 35. Yep, we're going for a 35 on that. And then a 61 post moves to get that 3 playmaking. And then what we're going to do is we're going to max interior, perimeter, and the lateral. And we're also going to go for a 67 steal, which is 1 off. Again, max out block. And then we're going to take defensive rebound to a 90. Which means that this will be a 69 on the offensive rebound. That gives us 16, 1, 3, and 27. I know what a lot of people are thinking, Snoops. Why only 27? Why not increase that offensive rebound to a 70? You have to have below a 70 offensive rebound in order to be called something other than a glass cleaning lockdown defender. Trust me, I messed around with this build a lot. So you have to be under a 70 rating for an offensive rebound in order to be called this build, and you have to make it very specifically. And how we're going to do that, we're going to go burly because I'm a big man, I'm a big boy. Or if you don't want to, go built. Either way, it don't matter. But what does matter, we stay 7 foot. Easily play 2 bigs if you want to. But this is also a really good build if you want to use this build, because, you know, it's still a really good interior defender. Now what you're going to do is you're going to stay at 250 pounds. And it's mainly because, hey, we're already at a 95. And we're already at a 95 strength. Why waste our vertical and our speed? You know? Like, why bother? And then we're going to max our wingspan to a 94.1. Which brings our mid-range down to a 33. Ball handling down to 34. Post moves down to 60, and our steal goes to a 69. Yep, nice. So anyway, that goes up, and then the other things go down, which we're not worried about it because they're only going down by 1. Steal only goes up by 2, but that's still pretty good. Then of course you can have rim protector takeover or glass cleaner takeover. I definitely recommend glass cleaner takeover. That's just me personally. And then you are called a paint defender. That's why I like this build, because you are indeed a paint defender. That's what they should be called, is a paint defender all along, or a rim protector, because you are not a lockdown defender at all, because lockdown defenders are, you know, smalls. If you guys remember in previous years, whenever you were a pure defender, or like, well, yeah, pretty much like a pure defender, you were called a rim protector. If you were a power forward or center, in a small forward and below, you were called a lockdown defender. So, there's that. That's the only reason why I'd be like, hey, this build is actually pretty good, because you're actually called what you're supposed to be called all along. So anyway, paint defender, really good build. Only reason why you shouldn't have a 70 plus in these specific stats. So, there you guys have it. That's the number 3 spot we're going into. Number 2 and number 1. You guys are gonna see what my top 2 builds are, and of course I'm just gonna say this right now. One of them I made myself, and another one I've already made, and it's already a video. Go check out that video. There will be a card, you know, up there, so go ahead, check that out. We're gonna go on to the number 2 spot. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so for this build, we have a point guard build, and I came across this build when I was messing around trying to make a different build. But of course, we have this build right here. So, we're going defense and shooting, and then me going to pure speed, because that's what this build should be at, the pure speed. Close shot's the only thing that we're going to be maxing out here in finishing, just so we can get that close shot, just in case we are close to the basket. And also because this is like a two-way sharpshooter type build, or a two-way shooter type build. Literally, I don't worry about finishing for any of these types of builds, and there's a reason for that. It's just because finishing is not like your focus point. Your focus point is literally shooting and defending, and then also playmaking to get yourself open a bit and get everybody else open. But your main focus is literally shooting and defending, not finishing, not playmaking, even though I do like having a lot of playmaking. But in here, we're going to be maxing mid-range, free throw, and post fade. And our three-pointer is only going to go to a 78. I bet you are wondering, Snoops, why is that? Well, here's the reason why. If you have a 79 and I make my wingspan a certain way how I want to make it on this build, especially with the way that I'm making it, there's gonna be a ton of problems with that, because then you're gonna have an 80 whenever you bring your wingspan down, and you're just gonna be called a 3&D, because you have to have an 80 to be called a 3&D. Or if you have an 81 mid-range and an 83 pointer, whenever you bring your wingspan down, you're called a two-way sharpshooter. That's the main reason why we have a 78 instead of an 81. Right here, pass accuracy. Pass accuracy has to be a 79. Do not bring your pass accuracy up at all. Other than that, a 79. If you go past the 79, you're going to be called a two-way pass first point, which is still a really good build. But of course, we're going to max out ball handling and post moves. And then we're going to be maxing out interior, perimeter, lateral, steal, defensive rebound, and offensive rebound to give us 17, 12, 21, which is a good amount of badges, I would say. That gives us about 7 gold badges, or 5 Hall of Fame badges and a bronze for defense. That's actually pretty good to me. I like it. But yeah, this build is actually really good, because I would definitely like to play this build sort of as like a shot creator type role, and there's a reason for that. Me, I like going built. We're going 6'5" here, ladies and gentlemen, 6'5", and then we are going to minimize our weight. I know a lot of people are thinking, yo, Snoops, why minimize your weight? It's just so we can get our vertical up there, and also get our acceleration up to a 91, and also bring our lateral quickness up. And we also still have over a 60 interior defense this way. That's the only two things that it just really brings down. It's just our strength and our interior defense, which we're not worrying about interior defending with this build. We are pretty much a perimeter defender. So right here, this is what I'm talking about. Boom. Whenever you go to 6'5" on this point guard two-way shooter build, you see that our mid-range goes down by 1. Our three-pointer stays pretty much like everything stays, except for like post fade goes up by 1 as well. But mid-range goes down by 1, which means that in order to be called this specific build, we have to have an 81 mid-range, but we also have to make sure that our three-pointer isn't at an 80. So that's why we have our 81 mid-range, 78 three-pointer. And then when we bring our wingspan down by 1 tick, we get our 76 ball handling, our 68 post moves, a little bit that we have pretty much lost. Or I guess we didn't really lose ball handling that much, because there was no point in ball handling anyway. But we did manage to get us a little bit ball handling. Our pass accuracy did go down by 1 point, but that's only 1 point. And also our defensive rebound is actually up there for a guard. But we have our 81 mid-range, 79 three-pointer, 76 ball handling, and a 68 post moves when we bring our wingspan down by 1 tick. Now, here's the difference about this build and a couple other different builds that you can make and stuff like that. Of course, if you stay down towards like the 6'4", 6'3" range, shot creator takeover would be like the second one above spot up shooter. So just keep that in mind. You can indeed make this the same way. You just have to make sure that you don't have an 80 three-pointer and make sure that you have an 81 mid-range. So there's that. If you have that in 6'3" or 6'4", you can easily make it that way. And then shot creator takeover would be the second slot. So don't be worried depending on where the takeovers are. But of course, I would like to play this as like a shot creator type build, or I could just do like a spot up shooter and then like fade and stuff like that. Don't really matter, but I would like to do like a shot creator. But of course, you are called a two-way mid-range shooter. That's why I like this, because it's such a unique build. How often do you see two-way mid-range shooters? You usually see a lot of two-way sharpshooters and 3&Ds, which back when I first made my when I first made my 3&D, or a little bit before, I used to see like 3&Ds like all over the place. Like a couple 3&Ds here, a couple 3&Ds there, and stuff like that. I used to see them a lot more than I do now, but nowadays I just see a lot more two-way sharps for some reason. But yeah, two-way mid-range shooter, definitely a really dope build. But we're gonna be moving on, of course, to the number 1 slot. This build you probably have seen before. Stay tuned. Number 1 spot coming up. My, as we get into number 1, you guys see that we have another big build. This is something new. The first video, we only had 1 big and the rest were shooting guards and point guards. And now we had 2 point guards, 2 power forwards, and a center. This is going to be really, really dope. But anyway, we are going with a build that you guys have probably recognized on my channel before, but we're going defense and finishing, and we're going vertical and speed. And of course, close shot, max out, max out, max out, max out, and then we go in for a 49 post hook. Give us that 20 finishing badges. And then of course, we're not upgrading our shooting at all, not even touching it. But of course, PAC accuracy, if I could speak, pass accuracy, we are maxing, as well as post moves being maxed out. And then right here, interior, we're going for a 75, max, 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 max. So we have 21, 10, 21. Easy peasy cake. So anyway, that should give us a pretty good amount, but of course, how we are making this build is different, because we have our 74 perimeter and our 75 interior. So that's sort of like very, very close. So how we are going to be making this exactly, you can choose whatever you want here, but we are staying 6'9", 232 pounds, and default wingspan. And the only reason why is because we get slasher takeover. This is possibly the best way to get slasher takeover right here. And also because of what you're called, you also get that glass cleaner takeover, that rim protector takeover as well. And this is the perfect Zion build right here. I would say this is a Zion build 100%. Like, no questions asked. I do believe this would be considered a Zion build by what it's called and stuff like that. And the reason that Zion is pretty much the thumbnail. If we choose slasher takeover, you guys could see a glass cleaning finisher. You guys have seen Zion. If you watch the Pelicans games, you have noticed that Zion is always on a tear, especially on the glass. grabbing the boards and dunking it and stuff like that. Call him a glass cleaning finisher in the game, please, because that's exactly what he is. Similar to Dennis Rodman, throw him out. Julius Randle, throw him out. The only person that should be on this list is Zion Williamson, because that's exactly what he is. And I'm not just overhyping it either, because literally when he first debuted and stuff like that, when he played his first regular season game, I thought he was overhyped. I'm like, okay, he got 22 points, getting a pink diamond card and in my team and stuff like that. Who in the blue hell do you think you are? And also, I thought he was overhyped from the beginning, because I'm like, we got to see what happens first. And look what happened, he got injured. But now since he's back and stuff like that, he's proven himself worthy. That's the thing. You just can't overhype them early. You can't hype them up and be like, oh, he's gonna be the next MJ, he's gonna be the next LeBron, stuff like that. You can't overhype them early up like that. You got to see exactly how they play and if they work well in this big league, environment. But of course, Zion proving himself now, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe Zion is actually as good as he was hyped up to be. But that's just because he's out there proving himself worthy, especially with Lonzo throwing him the lobs and him passing it to Lonzo and all that other jazz. That's a good duo. I like that duo. Put that in the record books, because this is the #1 build out of the 5 builds I have selected here. So yeah, 2 of these builds I have made myself, and then the 3 other ones I have just like looked at and just taken inspiration from and stuff like that. But yeah, these are the top 5 builds. The first one, glass cleaning finisher. I like this build. Play this in the power forward. You're able to grab boards, you're able to slash, you're able to get those elite contact dunks and big man contact dunks. Really, really nice. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below of this video. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like. But of course, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe and that notification icon so you'll be notified whenever I upload. Never miss an upload of mine. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for me. I'll talk to you all in the next one. Later everybody.
Bitch start tripping, now I'm blue. Mega man, I can't win for losing cause I got too many haters, man. Used to be the paper boy, grew up now I'm mega man. Player 1, player 2, show your ass what players do. Up, down, left, right, hit her with a stronger time. Yeah, I smoke the strongest back. Tell me what is wrong with that.